everybody. Happy Lundi Gras, day before Mardi Gras. Hope you're all having a terrific Mardi Gras season. Truth be known, full transparency, most of us here aren't at work today. We're doing this a little bit earlier. As I tell you every week, I have my faithful, trusted, I could use all these adjectives that describe this guy, but he's the guy who puts it together. Dustin Robichaud here with us. Hope you are doing well. As right now, you might even be in, I don't know, parts unknown, right?
I could be, yeah. Happy Lundi Gras. That's what I say.
Yeah, listen, we hope everybody is having a terrific Mardi Gras season. We hope that you are having a safe Mardi Gras season. The timing is perfect on all of this. We'd like to get you caught up on the first round of boys basketball. But again, with everybody being out for the Mardi Gras holidays, we did something a little special. We had all of the baseball and softball coaches in a couple of weeks ago. We're going to be jumping full force into baseball and softball soon. But a lot of people don't know sort of the inside story with a lot of those coaches. What I mean by that is they don't know what they teach. Because remember, guys, these folks are teachers. You know, it's not like they just go and coach baseball or softball and then go home. They're actually teachers. We're going to find out a little bit about what they teach, if they teach. Some of them are not even teachers in the school system. They're CECP personnel, meaning they work in the private sector and they come in and coach. So you're going to find out a lot more about these coaches. You're going to find out who they sort of aspired to when they were younger, like who were their heroes, who was their favorite coach. So a lot of really good information, again, that we got when we had all of these coaches in. So we're going to turn it over to that. All of our baseball and softball coaches from the Bayou region with a little bit inside information we hope you enjoy. Jamie, there's a lot of people out there that have no idea what you teach or what you do at the school. So non-baseball, what are your assignments at Ellender?
I do have a couple of preps. I'm a business teacher. One of the preps I teach is personal finance, focus on the business aspect of the world, like loans and stuff like that. And my other class is IBCA, where it focuses on business documents and PowerPoint and stuff like that, just getting kids familiar with it.
One word that would describe your coaching style, if you had to pick that one word.
Well, I was having trouble picking it, so I asked my coaches to kind of help me out with that. Bureaucratic. Yeah.
Bureaucrat. I've never gotten that one before.
Yeah, that's what my brother said.
Okay.
I work with my brother.
We'll go with that one. Sports hero. When you were a kid, was there ever a sports hero of yours?
Typically, people who coach baseball might pick a baseball guy. I'm going to pick a football guy, Drew Brees. I loved everything about how he played the game, leadership, and how competitive he was.
You can't mess with Drew Brees.
Yeah.
If you could meet somebody, alive or dead, in the history of the world, who would you love to meet and sit down and have a dinner with?
The favorite player I admire is the player I want to meet, Drew Brees. Yeah.
No, yeah, it's a good answer. Good answer. Listen, just to give homage to somebody that came before. Who was somebody you remember when somebody says, who was a mentor of yours or a teacher or a coach that really sticks out to you?
It turns out to be my athletic director, Gus Brown. I worked with him at Terrebonne High School. He kind of mentored me, kind of prepared me for what I'm doing now as a head coach. So I really appreciate what he's taught me over the years.
What do you teach at Ellender Memorial?
I'm a PE teacher in the ISS room.
Very good. In one word, this is kind of self-reflection. What would you say is your style? So tell us in one word, how do you coach?
I go by this method, TTM, teach, train, motivate.
Very good. Very good. Who's your childhood sports hero?
I have to go with Michael Jordan.
Very good. If you can meet or chat with anyone, dead or alive, you go back in history, whether it's friend, family, celebrity, sports person, who'd you love to just sit around and have a meal with and pick their brain?
Got to be Kobe Bryant.
Very good. Best coach you ever
had? Someone that's like a father figure to me right now. I got to go with Coach Sam Williams.
Who is Sam Williams?
Coach Sam Williams is a guy back in my hometown from Monroe, Louisiana. He was an AAU coach that took me under his wing. Actually just taught us how to be the man we are today. So he was a big part of my life. So
your teaching assignment at Terrebonne High?
6 physical science. I have one prep, but I have 6 classes of physical science.
Can I ask you when your off hour, unencumbered hour is?
Very early. I'm off at second period, so 8 o'clock to about 9 o'clock is when I'm off. Then I go straight to the end of the day and then right to practice.
One word, describe your coaching style.
Direct.
Very good. Very good. Had a childhood hero in sports when you were little? Doesn't have to be baseball.
Michael Jordan's an easy one. Dalton Hilliard was well known when I was
Yeah,
young.
I like Dalton. That's the first time
It's
I've
fun.
Dalton.
Now I see him, through different events, and we become friends. Really, those are easy ones.
Yep. If you can meet or chat with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
Might have to go with the big man, Jesus. How are we doing? Where are we supposed to go? So, go from there.
I'm with you. Best coach or mentor you ever had? This could be throughout any time in your life. Who's that one person when somebody would bring that up to you, sort of pops in your head?
That's the easy one. That's Coach Buxton.
Oh, very good.
Coach
Calvin Buxton.
Yes, sir.
And is that when you were coaching with him?
Both. I played 3 years for him, and I coached 3 years with him.
Very good.
And he was there when Don was born. And he was there when Diego was born. We miss him every day.
What is your teaching assignment at HL Bourgeois?
I teach 4 physical sciences and 2 weights and conditioning.
Very good. Are those weights and conditionings in the afternoon or in the morning?
I have 1 in the morning and 1 in the afternoon.
In one word, describe your coaching style.
Well, I had to ask my third period class that question, and they said, Coach, you're intense.
Okay. Your childhood hero, who did you really enjoy either watching or you just sort of admired when you were young?
100% it was Roger Staubach.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You like the Cowboys. Okay. If you could meet or chat with anybody, dead or alive, in the history of the world, who would you love to just sit around and have a chat with?
Well, I met one of the Cowboys, and that was Jerry Jones, and the second one would be Jimmy Johnson.
Mentor, that person when somebody talks to you and says, who's that person who had a profound effect maybe on the way you are today? Who do you go back and think of?
It's Pat Key, head football coach from Terrebonne High.
Any particular reason?
Well, I was a kid that didn't want to play football. I just wanted to focus on one sport. And he stayed on me every day in and day out, to come play football. I mean, I was 6 foot, 225, and he wouldn't let me walk them hallways. And his goal was to get me to line up and play defensive tackle. And it turned out to be a great experience. And the other thing was, he taught me a work ethic, off-season conditioning and just the little things. I'm fortunate enough to be able to coach with him a little while. And, he's a guy that's well respected in the community. Just his perseverance and hard work, and you pick those things up. Now, I don't know if Coach Key would be able to coach today, but
Yeah. Different world. Talk about your teaching assignment.
Actually, I don't teach at the school. I'm a CCC coach. Actually work for a local company called Generators Power Systems that we sell standby residential and commercial generators. And just work for a great boss that allows me to get off at 2 o'clock so I can go and practice.
Perfect. One word, describe your coaching style.
Persistent.
One word, describe Joe Two-Tone's coaching style.
One word? Man, just trying to say.
You trying to stay out?
I think we all played for Joe. I would like to say just aggressive.
Okay. I thought you were just trying to stay out of trouble. Who's your childhood sports hero?
I had a couple. Probably when I was growing up a little bit, it was Dale Murphy. I try to show my age around here. But, man, watching the guys in the 90s play baseball, Tony Gwynn, Ken Griffey Jr., those guys really meant a lot to me. Of course, Michael Jordan, watching him from North Carolina through his time with the Bulls was amazing to watch.
But if you could meet or chat with anybody, dead or alive, who would you want to sit down and chat with?
Man, probably Bobby Knight.
Bobby Knight.
Bobby Knight.
All right. Just watch him chairs. Best coach or mentor you ever had personally when you think back?
Hall of Famer Don Schwab. He's the reason that, I coach. I was a sophomore playing football over there, and I was 5'3", 108 pounds. And he said, Butch, he said, man, you're a pretty good quarterback, but you'll never play. So here's a headset, help me out.
Very good.
True
Very
story.
good. What's your teaching assignment?
I am the school resource officer for the city of Houma. I run every school within the city of Houma.
So you sort of oversee it a little bit with everybody, right?
Yes.
One word, describe your coaching style.
Passionate.
Very good. Who was your childhood sports hero, if you had one?
Mitch Williams,
Mitch Williams.
Chicago Cubs, Ryan Sandberg,
Anybody from the Cubs, basically, at that period?
pretty much.
Yeah. If you can meet or chat with anyone, dead or alive, who would you love to sit around and have a chat with?
Coach Pat Key.
Very good. Very good. So does that answer the next one? Best coach and mentor you ever had?
Sure does.
Obviously, Corey Sullivan told us a little bit about why. Do you have a particular reason why with Pat Key?
Corey should know. Corey was my student teacher at Terrebonne.
Is that right? Is that right?
My bad.
He was just a special kind of guy, right? Your teaching assignment at Thibodeau High.
Yeah, some more virtual. The E2020, Spanish, French, Math Essentials, Environmental Science. I facilitate a dual enrollment psychology from Nichols. I'm on our PBIS team. I'm the leader of our RTI. So I mentor kids as they're coming in from maybe suspensions or being truant in school. They come meet with me. We chat, have a little chat. And I'm also the leader of our FCA.
Awesome. Awesome. One word, describe your coaching style.
Aggressiveness.
Good. Good. Your childhood sports hero.
Dale Murphy. I was born and raised number 3 for the Atlanta Braves, and I had it in my glove. I had it on my shirt. I'm a big Dale Murphy fan. I got autographs at my house, of him and bobbleheads and his book and all that stuff.
Yeah, so listen, if you're under 35 years old, go Google Dale Murphy, and you'll be very...
Should be in the Hall of Fame.
What a great guy. Yeah, that's a sin. If you could meet anybody, dead or alive, and you just could have a chat with them, who might it be?
If I don't say meet, but if I could re-meet and chat with them, I'll bring my parents back. They've been gone 14 years ago in January. So just to have them back to see Camden, Brody, and Cole grow through college and high school would be pretty cool.
Very, very good. Very good. Best coach and mentor you ever had?
I've had a bunch of them through high school all the way through college. But my dad, being a sports guy, and he's the first one to put the glove and the ball in my hand, I think the best coaching, teaching moment he's ever did. I skipped practice one day in high school, and when I got off the bus, he was there, and I didn't know that. He went in my room, he took all my baseball jerseys, folded them up, and said, "Bring us back to your coach." So I'm like, I'll never miss a practice again. Sick, what don't matter. That lesson that he taught me at home about taking the high road and skipping things, that changed everything for my career.
Darian, your teaching assignment at Thibodeau High.
Oh, I teach physical science for 6 class periods of the day.
6 class periods a day, physical science.
It's honors and regulars.
One word, if you had to self-reflect and talk about your coaching style, what's the one word you would use?
I would probably say competitive. I'm a very competitive person.
Good, good. Did you have a childhood hero, sports hero, or otherwise?
Sports hero? I had that typical little girl answer, the softball dream, Jenny Finch, I guess.
No, that's good. If you could meet or chat with anybody, dead or alive, and you could just have a discussion with them, who'd you love to sit down and sort of pick their brain, either again or for the first time?
I would say it would have to probably be my pitching coach when I was younger. He died when I was 16, so I had him from like 10 to 16 just to meet him again because he shaped me, basically who I am sports-wise today with the help of my parents. So just to have him back, so I would love just to talk to him one more time.
That's neat. Is he your mentor, or is there
I
another
would
person?
say he's probably one, like besides my parents, he would be the next in line.
Do you want to name him, or you'd prefer not to?
His name's Billy Ferguson.
So what's Billy? Talk about Billy Ferguson. Where's he from?
He's from Alexandria, Louisiana.
Okay.
I'm not from around here.
That's what I was kind of hinting at for people who didn't know. But Coach Ferguson was somebody you had when you were in.
He was my travel ball coach and then my pitching coach throughout the years when growing up playing.
Very good. Your assignment at Vanderbilt Catholic, as far as what your daily routine is related to when you're not necessarily on the baseball field.
Yeah, almost everything, really. Officially title is a facilities director, and what that entails is oversee the maintenance of the school, the cafeteria food service program, Also with the transportation, oversee the fleet of buses along with the drivers. And then sometimes I get out to the baseball field and do that as well.
If you had to self-reflect and talk about your coaching style, what one word would you use to talk about your coaching style?
I think it'd be love, you know, love the players, love the families, love the work, love the grind, love, watching the transformation of young men from when they enter the program and when they leave. And just ultimately faith and understand that love is a big part of life. And so I think if I had to choose one word, I'd go with love.
You have a childhood sports hero?
Michael Jordan.
This is so weird. You guys have said Michael Jordan at least 4 times today, and the basketball coaches came in and said his name like twice. But yeah. I get it.
His airness. I love Jordan. Baseball wise, I was like Coach Trosclair there, and Dale Murphy was my dude when I was
we can't get that guy in the Hall of Fame, but everybody's picking.
Yeah, man. Well, he struck out a lot, but the TBS, the Braves were on is the only thing to watch. But I love the Murph back in the day. But man, Jordan, there's something about his competitive spirit, his nature, and just nails. Again, the Bulls were something else back in the day, and they still doing documentaries on that team.
Listen, I agree. If you could meet or chat with anybody, dead or alive, you just got the opportunity to sit and talk with somebody, who would it be?
My wife. I know that's probably not the direction that question was going, but I tried to think about it, and there's no one more special ever to me than dead or alive is her. She completes me. She keeps me straight, and that. If I could spend every minute of my life with her, she's the one.
That's a good answer. Here we go. Best, and we're probably not going to know the person because you're more from Southwest Louisiana and stuff, but maybe that mentor or coach you had that is so special that when somebody brings it up, you go, that's the guy or that's the lady. Who would he be?
Sure. I got goosebumps you asking me that. Scott Phillips, he's still a baseball coach at Eunice High School. He was my high school baseball coach, and he's still, every time he talks to me, he tells me that he loves me. He treats me like a son. He calls me like his son. And he's followed me throughout my whole career. And he's just, he's part of the family. He was there at my wedding. He was there when my kids were born. And so a real special man in my life. Really, really good. It's a great man. I think several of the baseball coaches in the room all know him. And I think they say the same thing about him. And I was privileged to be able to call him my coach.
And this one I'm curious to know because are you at Vanderbilt doing anything right now during the day when it's not softball time? I've heard that you're on campus, right?
Working on the field. Yeah,
very good.
Pretty much. I'm working on the field consistently. We had a little setback this year because in October we had some dirt brought in, and it actually turned out to be the wrong product. It was about 95% sand, about 5% silt, which will not work on a softball field. So we took it off and had to re-put it back on, and knock on wood, man, it's really nice right now.
One word, self-reflection. Describe yourself as a coach.
Passionate.
Very good. That seems to be the theme, which is good. Did you have a childhood hero in sports when you were young?
Yeah, Joe Montana, man. I mean, that was my guy. I just love watching him. I like the story that, when he was in the huddle and they was going down for the winning drive, and he looks up and he sees what's the movie actor Candy. He sees him up there in the stands and just tells his offensive line, everybody, hey, look up there, it's him, and everybody just relax, and he goes on. So that's why I choose him.
If you can meet anybody, dead or alive, in the history of the world that you could just sit and talk to, it doesn't have to be sports related, who might you like to just sit and have a chat with?
That would be my father.
Makes sense. Did you ever have that coach or mentor that had a profound effect on your life, that when somebody says, think of a coach you had, who's the person who pops to your head?
Yeah, Buddy Marcella, I would say he was his high school football coach, and I talked to him for years and years and years afterwards. He just always was there. He had a history with Vanderbilt. He had a history with South Terrebonne. That's all I had to say, that guy.
What is your teaching assignment at South Terrebonne?
I'm a ISS teacher and full-time head grounds crew on the baseball field. So,
yeah, folks, a job in itself.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. One word, describe your coaching style.
I would say consistent. I try to be as consistent as I can, no matter if we have ups or downs.
You had a childhood sports hero? I'm curious.
So I was thinking about this one, and I think I came to the big four of the Yankees: Pettit, Posada, Rivera, and Jeter. And I've always looked at those and how, again, consistent they were. When I was a kid, you don't really understand it, but it was exciting to watch them play. And we hope that when we put a product on the field, it's exciting to watch.
If you could meet or chat with anyone, dead or alive, who would you love to?
Nick Saban, for sure. I would love to sit down and pick his brain. I've tried to listen to all the podcasts, read all the books, watch every interview he's ever given, and just kind of see where he's thinking.
Best coach or mentor you ever had? Watch out.
Yeah. I'd have to say he introduced me to everything, pretty much every type of ball you can think of is my dad. He kind of was the one that he didn't steer me into doing anything. But looking at what he was able to accomplish as a coach and the joy he was able to bring and the growth he was able to bring to others is something that I kind of wanted to do. I originally went to college to be an athletic trainer. But then I got into coaching after that, and here we are.
Your teaching assignment at South Tech?
So right now I teach technical writing, math essentials, and I teach society skills.
So English and math?
Yeah. Well, and my certifications in social studies. So, but being a sped teacher is we go all around.
Here we go. One word, describe yourself as a coach.
Unconventional. A lot of things that I do, I always tell the girls, like, look, this is gonna look super weird, but I promise it's gonna help you. And I feel like I take a lot of that from which we're gonna get to that question later, but I take a lot of that from my mentor, Coach Michael O'Teef.
Okay.
So when I was at UL and with him, he would have, like, there were colleges that would come and play us, and they would look at the contraptions that he had set up for them to be able to, they need a field to hit, and they'd be like, what are y'all doing? This looks like torture chambers. But it's actually just things that he does to get you to feel what you're supposed to feel when you're in the box. Get your swing how it's supposed to be. So,
very childhood sports hero. Did you have one?
Peyton Manning.
Oh, very good.
My first jersey that I ever owned was a Peyton Manning jersey. I have all his memorabilia, his Hall of Fame jerseys and everything, but just the aura and the presence that he had on the field and like the respect that he commanded no matter where he was. And even seeing what he does today, like him branching out into, the entertainment scene and stuff. It's awesome.
If you could meet or chat with anyone alive or dead, who would that person be?
So I have like a table of three. I couldn't decide between one, so I'll give you a table of three. So my first one would be Vince McMahon. My second one would be Ed Ogeron, and then my third one would be Coach Michael O'Teef, because the
Ed Ogeron and Michael O'Teef at the same table,
right? That's exactly what I'm thinking. If those three were ever at a table together, I would just sit back and watch. I wouldn't even talk.
Very good. Very good. And we mentioned the coach that you really respect is Michael O'Teef. For those of you who don't know, used to coach at UL softball and sort of, I don't want to say brought him to prominence because Yvette Girard did that.
Right.
But he is like, he's a genius though.
Right. And he established his own right to stake of being a prominent leader of that team. Him and his wife, Coach Stephanie, because Coach Stephanie coached with him for a little while too. But man, just the way that he developed these players, and they would come in, they're prominent pitchers, and then they go and become one of the best outfielders in the country, like that type of thing. Like just the way that he developed these pitchers. I'll give you an instance real quick. I know we have to wrap it up, but so we had a girl come through whenever I was there, Lexi Elkins. She wound up, her first year at Texas Tech, she batted a 283. The next year at UL, she hit 32 home runs and batted a 456. So just the fact that she went from that and then going to almost breaking the single season home run record was just astonishing. And that's just a tribute to how good of a coach he was.
Your teaching assignment at Homer Christian?
Yeah, I have 6 classes. I do health and PE, and also have computer app classes.
Very good. Just out of curiosity for everybody out there, how many years at Homer Christian now? You remember?
This is 10.
10
or 11.
Wow. One word, if you had to describe your coaching style, you would say it is?
I was thinking about this. I didn't want to say anything that somebody had previously said. Passionate was the word that came to mind, I love baseball. I love being around baseball. Structured could be another one.
You have a childhood sports hero?
I do. Dustin Pedroia.
Oh.
He was a guy that won MVP and shorter guy in the league, so I always kind of looked up to him.
I like him. If you could meet and chat with anyone, dead or alive, just can have a talk with somebody.
I would have to say Jesus. I mean, pretty self-explanatory. It'd be pretty great.
Yep, I agree. Best coach and mentor you ever had?
I have two. One that got me into coaching was Josh Constant. He coached me at Vanderbilt. He was the assistant coach over there whenever I was junior, senior over there. And I could just tell how passionate he was about the game, and it made a big impact on me. The other one would be my dad. Everything that he did made me into the ball player I was and into the man I am today. So he would also have to be probably the best mentor that I've ever had.
Your teaching assignment at South Lafourche?
I teach personal finance and principles of business.
Very good. Very good. One word describing your coaching style.
Be 2 words, relationship oriented. We want to build a family atmosphere within our program. We believe in having those individual relationships with every kid and them having those relationships with each other. It just goes a long way within our team.
Your childhood sports hero, if you had one?
Yeah, for me, I was blessed that my dad had LSU season tickets since '94. So growing up through the bad years, through that climb, once Coach Saban got there, to Rohan Davies, LeBrandon Toefields, on to the Mad Mox, and eventually the Matt Flynn's, those guys are the guys I really looked up to.
So from that era at LSU. If you could meet or chat with anyone, dead or alive, who would you like to sit and talk with?
I'm going to go with both my grandpas, just so they could, just to be able to talk about their grandkids growing up. Their great grandchildren, I should say, that they didn't get to be around.
Coach, best coach, mentor you ever had. Now remember, a lot of people down the bayou are going to see this when you say it.
Yeah.
So the guy that you would consider to be a mentor.
I'm going to go with 2, and they're actually in Terrebonne Parish right now. One is Blight Winstead, who was my head football coach. Just means the world to me. Amazing man and a great mentor to me. And the other one was Coach Bubba Ogeron, who's actually our superintendent now. Coach Bubba coached us in All-Stars growing up, and he was actually our head coach for 1 year in high school. And he's actually the guy that hired me to get my foot in the door at South Lafourche. So,
your teaching assignment at South Lafourche?
Softball coach.
Softball coach.
Actually, I'm not even on campus.
So CECP.
I am actually the secretary at Golden Meadow Lower Elementary.
Very good. One word, describe your coaching style.
I would have to say old school.
I like that.
I'm a firm believer in the way I was coached. And that's hard.
Yeah.
You know, hard work. Exactly. Tough love, hard work, dedication.
Did you have any childhood sports hero? It doesn't even have to be sports. I keep saying sports, but it could be just somebody that you sort of really respected when you were young.
Actually, I actually have 2 sports heroes, and some of the other coaches kind of stole my answers. When I was very, very young, and of course, you know, I mean, softball wasn't popular.
Correct.
You know, back then. I'm old.
Yeah.
And of course, you know, I was a diehard Braves fan, Dale Murphy fan. I mean, he was my go-to as far as the sport. Then after that, I'd have to say Michael Jordan. And if you ever watched his documentary, he is just so passionate about the sport that he loved and his dedication. And it's like he said, I practice how I play. And that's just kind of like become a motto for me. You practice how you play.
Very good. And he had supreme focus for sure. If you can meet or chat anyone, dead or alive, who would you like to meet?
I would have to say that would be David from the Bible.
Oh, very good. Why?
You know,
why?
Because he was not afraid to take on the giant. He was a little man. I'm not a little woman, but I'm not afraid coming in as the newbie to take on the giants.
Very good. And finally, coach or mentor, teacher, or whatever that you remember most that affected you.
It's a tough decision between 2. First off, I would have to say, as a coach, that would have been Mr. Terry Morton. He was my first ever organized sports coach. And he just instilled for me from the very beginning in bitty basketball, God first, teammate second, me last. And then the other person would have to say would be my mom. she's the one who gave me the passion and the love for softball to be able to pass down to generations. She was a ball player. I grew up in the ballparks. I was a ball player. I played at South Lafourche. My daughter was a ball player, played at South Lafourche. And now currently my son's a ball player and he's on the baseball team. And that kind of has me tugging at my mama coach's heart, going one way, going the other way.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Your teaching assignment. What do you teach at EDU?
So I'm in the AE department most of the time, which is the academic enhancement. So we're doing, helping kids study, helping them get their homework right. And then this year I actually have 2 sections of sign language.
Very good. That's something that you've always sort of been involved with, though, right?
So when I was in public school, I've always done special education. So
very good. Very good. In one word, describe your teaching style. This is a lot of self-reflection because your kids might not say that's the word, but what do you think the word is?
I think my kids would agree on this, and I think it's a word that nobody's used, but I would say unorthodox. And I think it's unorthodox just because we might go a whole day at practice and I might not ever talk to you anything that's baseball related. I try to get the other coaches and just, if we can focus on those things that are obtainable and controllable that don't necessarily have to do with baseball, then the baseball skill takes care of itself.
Childhood hero when you were growing up?
It's another one. I don't think anybody's answered. I'm not too old yet, but Ken Griffey Jr. I think the iconic of his swing and how he looked, I think everybody tried to mimic that, and that's just what I remember about being a kid.
If you can meet or chat with anybody, dead or alive, just to pick their brain, who might that be?
I think I'd pick both my dad's parents, my grandparents. I think they really formed who I am today. And I think that'd be a really good conversation.
Awesome. And this, I don't think we're gonna know necessarily the answer because you're not originally from here, but I hope to be surprised. Best coach or mentor you ever had?
I don't think you're gonna be surprised.
Oh, I know who it is. I know it is. Can I say it?
Go ahead.
Tony Robichaux.
Definitely.
Why was he so special? I met him a couple of times, but
I think there's not enough time to answer that complete question. But
listen, there's a background on this. Matt Plitt was a heck of a player at UL when they were #1 in the nation and was a pitcher who was great there. Just throwing that out for you. But he played for Tony Robichaux, who everybody here respect, with the most famous line ever: I want kids who drink out of a hose pipe. I don't want kids who get their mom and daddy bringing them Gatorade through the dugout. That's great. That's great. But why?
I think it's got to be him because, just like I said, I try to mimic things that he did. Not that I'll ever be anywhere remotely close to what he did, but you could go all day at practice, after practice, have a conversation with him, and I don't think in the whole time I ever knew him, we ever talked about baseball. And he was my pitching coach. There was throw a bullpen, we wouldn't even talk about pitching.
Wow.
And he correlated so many other things in life to baseball, and baseball skill at the end of the day just took care of itself.
Very good. Your teaching assignment, or what do you do at UD White?
I am the athletic director, assistant secretary.
Very good. Very good. In one word, describe your coaching style.
The norm, I'm just very passionate, loving, old school, like someone said earlier, just, doing things the motherly way, I guess.
So I'm just out of curiosity. I know that if we had you girls all sitting out here and we said that same question to them for you, would they say the same thing, you think?
Probably.
Okay.
Probably so.
Very good.
I would like to think so.
Yes, yes. Did you ever have a childhood hero when you were growing up?
This will probably touch the last 3 questions you have. I would have to say my brother and my father. They both passed, but I did look up to them. My brother was 8 years older than I was. He played ball his whole life. My dad played ball. My dad coached my brother. So just watching them and being around that growing up.
I realize they're a big part of your life, obviously, because they're family and you saw them growing up. Did their playing ball, like you, I don't know, I'm trying to associate sports with it, that you were just like, that's amazing how much work and effort and everything they put into it.
Yeah, and I would see it at home. He would practice at home too. And like I said, he was 8 years older, so I was the little sister, wanting to follow in his footsteps. But my dad coached him as well too. So just seeing that relationship made me want to do the same.
So I guess your dad would be your mentor and your coach. Your teaching assignment at Central Approval.
I teach PA safety, which is a OSHA 10 certification class, job site safety. Teach you about careers, and the last portion of our lesson is shop. I was a carpenter for 20 years, so it's kind of right up my alley.
Are you enjoying yourself?
Yes,
very good.
I am.
Very good. One word, describe what kind of coach you are.
Honest.
Good. That's a good answer. Who's your childhood sports hero?
Larry Chipper Jones.
Oh, there you go. I met him one time. If you could meet or chat with anyone dead or alive, who would it be?
My father.
Best coach and mentor you ever had? When you think back.
High school baseball coach Scott DePlennis. He grew me to be part of the young man I am today. He held me accountable in my life, and if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be sitting in this chair today as a baseball coach.
You're teaching assignment.
I teach physical science. I have 2 honors classes, and I have 4 regular academic science.
So one word, describe your coaching style.
Collaborative. It's not just me making the decisions. Ultimately, I have the final say so. But with Nora and her background and my husband, Chad, he's very knowledgeable in the sport. And he was in the baseball world for a long time. And I find we just all have something to bring to the table. We all see different aspects of things. So
I like that. I like that word too. Did you ever have somebody that you sort of was your childhood hero?
Childhood hero. I mean, I watched a lot of softball as a kid. Lisa Fernandez. I remember watching her, like specifically her pitching in the U.S. team. So
if you could meet or chat with anyone dead or alive, who might it be?
my grandpa.
Very good. I think that's a great answer. Best coach and mentor you ever had? It doesn't have to be a coach. It could have been a teacher, somebody that you really...
So I went to John Curtis, graduated from there, 4 state championships in softball. I would have to say my high school coach, Christy Hebert. I went to her for everything. You know, in high school, you can always go to your parents, whether it was softball or school or whatever it was. She was my go-to. And I called her a couple weeks ago, still asking her stuff. And she's like, I'll find out and I'm going to call you back. So still having that relationship. And Jerry Godfrey, that's there still at Curtis. I have a great relationship with him also.
Very
so
good.
both of them, I would say.
Very good. We wish you the best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Thanks to all of those guys for opening up a little bit. I think they had fun doing that. And it gives you a little insight to more than just them being this cardboard figure of a coach, you know, at these games. They are human beings and they do have livelihoods. I think one question we're going to add to all of this is tell us about your family. Maybe not a long drawn out thing, but someone did ask me at one point, hey, I wonder, like, does that person have children? Are they married? So that might be a good one, Dustin, in the future.
Maybe so.
Yeah, just to get a little bit more insight on those guys. But thanks, Em, for giving up time. We also want to, last opportunity for us, wish you the best Mardi Gras ever, but be safe out there, folks.
Are you hitting the parade, Stan?
I am not. Truthfully, as we speak, I'm in the Woodlands, Texas, in all probability. It's an opportunity to see my family.
There you go.
So we did, but I did hit it a little bit earlier in the week, you know. So I got a little bit of it, but again, it gives me that time to see family. So we do wish everybody well. We wish you a very safe Mardi Gras. Take care, everybody. We'll be back Monday with lots of basketball action. Who did what in the playoffs? And we're going to keep an eye on the girls' basketball scene too, for sure. But then we start making that transition into our baseball and softball, as that is becoming hot and heavy at this time. Take care, everybody.